What's up? Tim Bennix here. We hit a huge milestone this week. There's over 1500 views on all the videos and we have 120 subscribers, maybe even more by the time this comes out. Man, I'm so happy that people actually took the chance to watch the videos and subscribe. I appreciate all of you and I'll be keeping the videos coming. Today's interview is super exciting for me. I got to speak to Eduardo from the Vue.js core team. I use Vue.js every day. I use the tools that he's built. And then to be able for me to ask him what it's like to be a Vue.js core team member, but also what it's like to be a speaker and a seasoned developer. He goes into depth about all those things, and I think it's brilliant that he actually opened up about everything. So as you've noticed, I've not spoken his full name because it's a Spanish name and it's a super fancy name, and I have a Dutch accent and I'm just going to butcher it completely. So my first question will be, can you please say your name? Yes.
Cool.
Here we go. Okay. So what's really funny, I just tried to do the intro for this and then I read your name and I'm like, okay, I'm never going to be able to say that nicely in my Dutch accent. So for the people, can you actually pronounce your name the way it's supposed to?
My name is in Spanish Eduardo San Martin Morote, but I've never cared too much about this pronunciation since I've been living in France. So
Yeah, so how do you say it in French?
with a French accent,
Yes.
Eduardo San Martin Morote.
Yes. I could not say that any other way. I'm just going to call you Eduardo.
Yeah, well, that's a name. That's the English pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly. And I always like these kind of different culture stuff, so that's why I'm asking how you say this. And also because you're Spanish, right? So you moved
Yes.
to France. Is life different here, like work-wise or anything?
Yeah. Well, life is different. Well, France is also quite big, and right now I'm living in Paris, which is a very different city from the rest of
Oh,
France.
sure.
Regarding people, you live in Paris as well, so you
Yes.
know. Um, and work culture, everything is quite different. People's mood and interactions are different for sure from the rest of France, and it's even worse when you compare to Spain because I find Spanish people to be warmer, and I definitely see this when I'm having conferences. Communities in Spain are so much friendlier to me, and I speak both languages. Like I have both two mother tongues, French and Spanish. So that's really not an issue at all for me. And I see a huge difference, like really, really big, when it comes to interactions in conferences with other attendees.
Wow.
Also, work culture. I haven't worked in Spain officially as an employee, but one of the reasons I left Spain was to study abroad and work abroad. Um, so because the situation wasn't really good when I was 18, and I had the opportunity because I knew French and I had French studies, so it was very easy for me to just go to. I mean, very easy. Yeah, it was very easy. Yeah, like definitely not the chance that anybody could get.
Yeah.
And I knew that the situation there wasn't great, especially because it was right after the crisis in Europe and Spain. Well, Spain is a bit of the ass, one of the asses of Europe. So it it was like we knew that people were being a bit exploited at work, and I still hear stuff, read stuff that happens in Spain that is not great. And well, after working in France, it really disgusts me,
Oh, wow.
especially
Okay.
because in France, the worker rights in France are really great. We have to say that people fought for the rights, and you have a lot of rights as an employee, and that's great. Salary wise, I feel sometimes that Spanish in Spain, the culture is not always very healthy, and of course it changes depending on the city. I think that in Madrid and Barcelona, things have evolved very well because I have a lot of friends who work there and they seem to be very happy. Um, so I don't think I'm going back to Spain now,
Okay.
but I think that change happened since, and even though there is a difference in culture for people, the work culture is changing and getting better than what it
Okay.
was before. But the difference is still there, of course.
Because I do actually get what you say. So when I had a conference in Barcelona, it was so chill and people were so nice to me all the time. And not that it's not the same in France, but that was truly something that I noticed from that. So that's, yeah, it's a cool thing for sure. Anyways, so a lot of people know you because you are a Vue.js core team member, right?
I
So I
guess.
don't think that's an easy thing to do or become, even though I know that Evan you once said, "Who wants to be a core team member? I need people." I know this, but still, how did you land that gig?
That gig. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
not.
that's sorry. That's more of an American way of
Yeah.
saying a job.
No. Because it's funny because it makes me think. Like I don't know what is exactly the image of that people have with being a core team member of something. I feel like there is a lot of
It's a big reason why I ask, and this is one of them.
yeah, like people seems to give it a lot of importance. Like the
Yes.
title means something, and I don't think it means what it looks to me when I hear other people saying it. To me, it just means that I've been doing something in the ecosystem for some time, and that I contribute. I help it grow. Um, of course, there are some technical like a Vue core team member. I guess they have access to the discussion channels that we have internally.
Oh yeah, sure.
That will be the technical difference. But from a contributing perspective to the project, uh, you don't have to be a core team member to be a contributor, or so to
No,
say.
exactly.
So,
I am a contributor. I've done a bunch of pull requests.
yeah.
But what? How am I different from you? How did you get to become core team member?
Well, I did get the contribute member the way you said, Evan.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
asked.
Which is a cool way, right?
um,
That's the way to go.
yeah, it's funny. It wasn't a time when I had a lot of free time, or rather, I could afford to spend most of my free time doing whatever I wanted.
Mm.
And at that time, I wanted to work on projects and also discover other libraries, front-end libraries. So it was a time of JS, sorry,
I remember that time.
classic French mistake.
Yeah.
And it was a bad time for that library, and I
Yeah.
was using that at work, and I didn't like it. So I was started looking for alternatives, and I find this library called Vue.js, which has a French name,
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty
and
cool.
and I started using it in my personal projects, and I feel how everything clicks very well. And it was at a time the 0.12 came out, so it was pre V1, and very shortly after that, after I started using it, Evan posted this issue explaining the changes for the Vue one, and it was very exciting. It was this is everything looks really great here. Like
Mm.
it's becoming even better. So everything combined made me wanna spend more time knowing the library and using it. And so what I did is I did spend most of my time just reading issues. So it's kind of like going through Stack Overflow, answering questions. You don't always have to answer the question, but the simple fact that you are being confronted to others people's problem makes you learn more. Just that
Yeah,
simple.
that's how it is, right? Sure.
Yeah, and so I spent time answering on the GitHub some of the issues. Also on the forums, I will pay attention and just keep building my own stuff and building some libraries for Vue. At the time, it was like a Vue material library
Mm. Yep.
that I don't maintain anymore, and I don't think there is any reason to do so because we have solutions like Vuetify and Vue Material and all the
Exactly.
ones.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and they have their own teams, so I don't need to do that. And I felt that it was very easy to contribute to the ecosystem. Like the API was really easy
Mm.
to build on top, and that was great. To me personally, it was a great experience. And given that possibility of spending a lot of time of my free time doing that, helped me grow faster, I guess. And maybe be worthy, so to say, if that's what people want to see, like some kind of being worthy. But there is no such thing. It's just the worthy is just making the project better,
Okay.
or the ecosystem.
So it
So
kind
it's
of
not that hard.
sorry. Yeah, it kind of sounds like just be there and be good at what you do. This is
You don't have to forget the thing about being good is if you want to, if I mean, if you want to, yes, you're gonna get good at what you do if you keep practicing.
sure.
But what you're gonna create is gonna get better also. So the ecosystem you're improving is gonna get better too, because the way you just learn from your mistakes. So the
Okay.
libraries you're creating are gonna have better APIs. They're gonna have sometimes less bugs as well. They always have bugs, and you're gonna keep making things better, understanding what people do, how they do it, and how to make APIs that make more sense for them.
Yeah. And so did you have to be certain way behaviorally to deal with haters or people who don't like certain changes or stuff like that?
I don't think I had to. I think Evan probably did.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think I had to deal with that as much as he did. I don't know very well how much I've had to deal with people like this. I think I mean, I'm pretty sure I've dealt with people like this, of course.
Yeah.
I probably dealt with not very well, but I've learned from my mistakes. I think I'm doing much better now. Um, and I've also learned not to care too much about noisy negative comments, which is what comes from toxic people generally, and the fact that they are not representative of what the average person, I mean, like the average opinion is. They are not representative of the average.
All right.
But to you, when sometimes it hurts you, and it feels like it's more people than it really is, which is usually one person, sometimes more. But it's important to keep. So that's what I learned. What I learned is it's important to keep yourself a bit open-minded and keep the feedback coming sometimes, because even if sometimes people can express things in a very aggressive way, there is a lot of things to take into account. So I'm just specifically talking here about technical discussions, okay,
Sure.
not anything else. So sometimes it can come aggressive or derogatory, not often, but it happens. And in these situations, it's still important to keep to the technical parts, because sometimes there are important things you want to keep, and just keep the derogatory terms. And if the person just keeps doing it, then and even though you are not doing it, because if you're also using derogatory, God, how do you say
That's a
the word?
shitty word, man.
If you're
Derogatory,
also
right?
using
That it?
you what?
Derogatory. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's the word.
derogatory. Like if you're insulting the person,
Yeah,
basically. Well, not basically,
exactly.
but if you behave the same way they do, then everybody's gonna, you're both gonna keep going that way. So if you're trying to be, if you are being, if you're ignoring the negative parts and focusing on the technical part, and the other person is still being aggressive, then I think the best is to drop out the conversation,
Yeah.
because at least for us in Vue.js, we have more people. There is enough people for us to focus, and other people are gonna come with the same feedback, but they are gonna be able to fuel a conversation that brings you somewhere to improvement instead of negativity.
Yeah, exactly. This
And I don't think I have dealt with that as much as other people have dealt with.
yeah, I
But I
can
think I've learned a lot from the mistakes I've done in the past and not reacting correctly, and that now it affects me way less than it did before.
you were talking a little bit about failures, and I think that's or mistakes, right? And this is also a really good topic because a lot of people who are super successful to the outside world, you look super successful. You know, you're a speaker, you're in the Vue core team, and all the fancy stuff. But there are definitely mistakes that people make that make you a better person or teach you more. Do you have a specific thing that you remember that happened that actually make you better at what you do or feel better about what you do?
Yeah, definitely. But I think that for the first thing is that for people, when you think about someone successful, they probably look up to some other people as well. So, and probably the image you have of them is better than they actually are. That's the first thing, especially when when it comes to speakers, because when you are speaking in a conference, you are talking about a topic you like,
Yeah,
so a topic that you usually deal with, and you are usually good with and comfortable speaking with. So if people only see that version of you, well, for sure you're gonna look like someone that knows their shit, because that's the point of the talk. Like
yes,
you know the things you're talking about. Otherwise, you wouldn't enjoy talking about it most of the time. Although you can still give a talk about something you don't know that well to get to know it. But
sure.
when you give the talk, usually you ended up doing more research and learning more. So we're not that far. Like when I look at other people as well, all the speakers, I'm like, oh my God, they know so much about all these things. And I look up to them as well. But I know that it's distort reality of the person. Like it's just um, an idea that we have of that person, that we don't really know that person. So the thing that the failure that had me the most succeed, so to say, or to prefer to say grow, because I think that growing is something that applies to everybody, and it can resonate with anybody, no matter where they are in their careers. Um, I think is realizing that having failures is normal, that everybody has it, that the people you look up to also have them, and that what worked very well for me personally is verbally accepting that. So basically saying, I'm wrong. Oh, you're right. I'm wrong. I did this mistake. Like verbally saying that you're wrong is like a reality check,
Yeah,
and it helped me personally to give less importance to the mistakes we make. Uh, I mean, this is very generic, of course, but I'm talking about mistakes that um, are not like technical things, and something that has not, you're not killing someone, you know what I mean?
no,
but
sure. But like,
some things
yeah,
you can reflect on your actions and what happened, and improve on the next time. So if you start by accepting that you did a mistake, and you are more open to the idea of, I might have done a mistake, or a few mistakes, usually a few mistakes, multiple ones, when I did this thing, then you're more likely to grow as well. And that's the thing that I would like to keep. Now that there is not, I've done, everybody does a lot of failures, but if you don't shame yourself on failures, they all equalize more or less. I mean, I'm talking about careers, of course, because this is very generic speaking,
yeah,
very
sure.
abstract. But because you kind of mess up with other things that are more that have an impact, are very different. But if you're looking at how you perform things, and how you're doing in your career, and you're not so ashamed to accept your mistakes, you're gonna think less about the mistake itself, and think more about how it could have been different, so that you change the behavior in the future and you grow as a person.
Yeah, man, preach it. I agree. I love it. And I always ask this question, and I'm getting similar
Good
questions,
answers.
similar answers. And but yours went really well. I think it's great because it's not just about code. Like a lot of developers, they go into, yeah, but I did this pull request and it went
No, no,
wrong.
no.
It's not about that at all. Just be a
It's
good
about,
person,
it's
you
something
know.
really, this failure, like this recognizing you're wrong, is about everything. So that's why I'm also
Exactly.
saying that some mistakes have bigger impact. Like
Yes.
sometimes you're not the only person involved
Exactly.
in something. Like,
Yeah.
but in your career, most of the time, hopefully, you're not gonna hurt other people when I'm talking about these things to make you grow. But of course, you can and you should also grow from personal mistakes, and they probably be the one that will make you feel the best also,
Oh, for
because you
sure.
grow as a person.
Totally agree. So,
And you always have to deal with other humans or human beings. So growing as a person is something that you're gonna use your whole life for
exactly.
sure, no matter what happens in your life.
Okay, watchers or viewers, you should really listen to this. I like this a lot. This stuff can basically, if you listen to what you're saying and you apply this, you can change your career or your life. If you're not able to understand how that feels, right? So I think it's super important.
Yeah. It does change the way you see things.
Yeah. Well, you need a bit of experience to get there, clearly. But so
Yeah, time. Everything with times, of course.
this is a funny question. No, it's so what are you an expert at that nobody actually knows about? Like something that you are really good at that nobody on the outside has ever seen.
It's hard to know when you're an expert at something, like, because you don't know what qualifies as expert.
True.
So it's hard to get that validation and confidently say, okay, I was an expert at this. I don't know if I'm an expert right now at anything. I would say that I was a very good swimmer. I mean, I was doing a lot of swimming when I was younger, and I was doing national championships. And I'm still very good at swimming. If I don't train anymore, I try to swim sometimes, but I don't as often as I should. And I know I'm pretty good at swimming. That if I just swim a little bit, a few times a week, in a month, I'm back at a nice speed for short distances.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, other things. I've never done music. I'm not good at music. I'm not good at drawing.
You don't have to be, man. You just have to be happy.
I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was maybe good at some video games that I don't do anymore. Video games. I do some speed running at some point.
Okay. This is a question I stole off of Tim Ferriss, who's like a podcast host and a writer. This awesome dude. So what he always asks is like, if you had a billboard that like millions and millions of people would see that's empty, what would you put on it for them to read?
So there are different versions of these. Of course, you could send a message, like more values and stuff. That would be difficult for me to create a good one. Like, it's something you have to think about it. If I had to talk to people about something for me, like personal thing, it would be around making open source more sustainable. And personally, for me, it would be my sponsorship on GitHub.
Yes.
Because I wish I could have more people sponsoring me. And the reason is there is a lot of people using the things we create, and the libraries we are building on the Vue ecosystem are not just one-shot libraries or things that you build in a weekend. They require a lot of maintenance. And right now, for instance, I do like 80% of my time on open source, which is great.
Wow,
and I'm
it's a lot
using
as
some
well.
Open Collective. Yeah, it's a lot. Some Open Collective money as well, plus donations on GitHub. And GitHub doesn't take for the moment a share, like a cut out of the donation, which is great. And when you think about it, even $1 a month, I mean, even $1, like the least, the lowest donation that you can change the amounts, but $1 a month is absolutely nothing for a developer. Like, be honest, like no matter the
takes you a while to buy a laptop with that.
You could buy a laptop with that
$1. Takes you a while. I mean.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So like, no matter where you are in the world, if you're working as a developer, I think $1 a month represents nothing for you.
Yeah.
But this is not the problem. Is also that people, the people who donate are usually people, the individuals. How do you call that? The entities who is donating right now is mostly people.
Yeah.
But what is great about open source is how easy it is for anybody to start something by basing their work on someone else's work and starting something quick. And this is great because this helps people learn. This helps people build things in general, not only products, but build things, no matter what I mean, yes, they still need a computer, of course, but it helps people to, for example, create companies, which is not the best
Clearly.
example I give, but um, you don't have to buy a software to build your application, so to say. So to give a very, very simple example. But the problem is, after a while, sometimes companies become profitable, so they make money.
Yep.
And most of the companies do not give back to the projects they use. Now, before, like some of the companies are buying products, and then it's different because they are actually paying for the service. But what about all these open source libraries that do require maintenance and a constant maintenance every day, every week? It would be very easy for companies and very not expensive for them at all, especially when you are talking about agencies, for example.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's really not expensive for them. We know how much they charge.
I certainly do. I work at one of them.
Yeah.
So.
I've worked I work as a freelance. I know how much I charge and how much they are able to pay me to work on them. And what I'm asking is like 1,000 times less or more. I don't know. Way more.
That's crazy, man. It's true. You're right.
But the thing is, a company should be able to give way more than that. They should be able to spend, especially an agency, like spend 5,000 euros a month to open source, like give back to the things they use.
Well, I understand this because I use Vue router, let's say, every day. I know how good it is. I know what I use it for. Right? So these are things that I think it's important. And I remember someone, as was a while back, but this is the guy who came up with JS-Lint. I forgot his name. The American guy.
JS-Lint or ESLint?
No, JS-Lint, so like a long time ago. And he actually said, well, that became ESLint. I think it just morphed. But basically what he said, like he was working a lot and his wife said, yeah, so do people use the stuff you built? He says, yes, everybody. And then she's like,
I remember that. Yeah. I was thinking about that same person. So he built ESLint.
Yeah, I think it was ESLint, not JSLint. I don't remember.
Maybe
but
he's both.
I think it was both. I think it's the same guy. But then his wife asked, how much money did you make of that? He's like, zero.
Yeah.
I use this shit every day. It's insane.
The truth is also that open source has gotten better.
Yeah, it's true.
Like Vue.js also is very successful in that point.
It seems so. They have like all this Patreon stuff going on.
Yeah, no, if you compare to everything else.
Guillaume is doing quite well on
what?
this. Guillaume, who is doing quite well on this, who did the Vue CLI stuff.
I hope so. I
hope so too. I know a couple of people who are sponsoring him also as companies.
Yeah,
so.
That's great. Yeah, he has more sponsors than I have, for sure. That's something I know.
Okay.
He has like a few sponsors on.
Figure out how he does it and then do the same.
No, so I think it's different. Guillaume, the stuff that Guillaume does are visually appealing. So
sure.
It's very easy. It's very easy. It's not very easy. I will be more likely to give him money. I understand the psychology behind it. It makes total sense. When you see his work, it's way easier to grasp what he's doing because it's visible.
It's also ridiculously good. That helps, no? It helps that it's ridiculously good.
It's also very good, yeah. But the UI, he builds UIs like for Vue.
Vue UI.
He has many libraries, but they are most of them, except for Vue Apollo, they have a visual side. And this is so helpful for anybody to just see the value. Like it's way easier to grasp that there is value in there. Whereas when you think about, for example, Vue Apollo, which he also built, read the API, you're using it, you're thinking, oh, this is great. It was great.
I know, I did. It's awesome.
Use it first and still you have to. It takes more time to see the value. Whereas with the Vue CLI, Vue UI, even if you don't use it, you just see the thing, you're like, wow, he built this thing. Wow, look at what it does. It's so easy to show off the value because you can just show it. with the other ones, you have to use it, and that's a big
Yeah.
difference.
So I will make it my mission to see who I can get to donate to you. I'll start myself. That's a start, but that doesn't mean enough because
And you know what's also cool, and a lot of people don't know, is that GitHub also gives you invoices, like for a company.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So you can write stuff off and you can do real stuff with that.
I'm pretty sure that you can. I don't know how. Well, the taxes part are different for every single country.
Exactly.
So I'm not gonna. I don't know. I have no idea about that. But I sponsor people on GitHub. Guillaume, for example, Damien, I think Sarah,
Oh, cool.
Katashin, all the people from the core team, because I also use their work, and
Yeah.
and I have by email I receive these invoices, so I know they do it.
Okay. I will try to reach out to Valtech, for example, because we use your stuff all the time. I cannot promise anything because it's all this political stuff is happening, right? And there's so much red tape, especially in France with how all that works. But it's nonetheless, I think it's important. Anyways, I want to thank you a lot for taking the time today to do this. And I'm also super excited for Monday when you come and train our team.
All right.
Yeah, that's gonna be super fun.
I have to finish a couple details for the workshop. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so thanks a lot, and hopefully see you soon.
Thanks for inviting me.